Welcome, everybody. Today is September 15th, 2022. Welcome to the Networking for Introverts call. I'm really excited about today because we have a guest speaker, our first guest speaker in our group, Sara Lewis. But first, I want to do some introductions and some announcements before we get into our guest speaker. So for today, like I was saying, this is our first guest speaker. But exciting, we will have another guest speaker next month, and he will be speaking on brain training. And I'm excited about bringing him on because he has some really great techniques for just training your brain for, not only remembering things, but increasing your brain function. So I think that's going to be super awesome. And yes, let's just go around the room. We will do just maybe like a little brief introduction, say your name, how you found us, and your favorite food we'll go with. So let's start with Sara, and you can briefly introduce yourself. I know I'm going to introduce you, but you can go ahead and introduce yourself briefly.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to talk about how introverts can show up without sacrificing their time and energy today. In the meantime, Sabrina and I connected, I think, online. So that's how I found out about this group, and I'm so happy it exists for us introverts, a safe space for us. And my favorite food would have to be dessert. I love dessert, pretty much anything except for cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake, but other than that, like, my favorite food is something sweet to eat. Yeah.
Yum, sweet treats. Gotta love that. All right, next up on my screen is Richard. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Rich, and I live in Bolingbrook, just outside of Chicago. And my favorite, and I came to know the group because Sabrina, we were in a Toastmasters club some years back, and we stayed in touch. And my favorite food is seafood.
Yum, very decadent.
Yes.
Love it. Good. Well, thank you. Welcome.
Yes.
And Laura,
yes.
you're next up on my screen.
Hi there, my name is Laura. I live just outside of Seattle, Washington. Thank you for having it on Pacific Coast time because that works for me. I met Sara through Most Powerful Woman, and so I saw that this introvert session was coming on. I'm like, ooh, that kind of fits the bill here. I'm extrovert on some things, but promoting myself in business, not so much. My favorite food has got to be street tacos.
Oh, yeah. I could eat Mexican food or tacos every single day of my life.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you. Thank you, Laura, for introducing yourself. Angela.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm Angela, and I live right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And I know Sabrina from a women's ministry that we are both in leadership in. So that's how I know Sabrina.
And what's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite. Oh, man. Oh, so many. Any bread, any type of bread. Like, if there's a cake by me, it's a problem. So yeah.
Cake or bread? That's delicious.
Yep.
Yummy. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Justin, are you able to unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello. My name is Justin. I just joined, so I didn't catch all of the questions outside of the what's your favorite food one.
Oh yeah. So just obviously your name is Justin, but how you found the group, and did I say anything else? And then your favorite food, yeah.
Oh, all right, perfect. Yeah, I found the group just on Facebook. I don't recall exactly how. I just saw networking for introverts, and I as an introvert that was pretty grabbing. So I've always wanted to network, or I know the importance of it, but I'm not really good with like small talk and trying to initiate conversation. So I'm trying to get better with that. Then hopefully I'll be able to learn some things today.
Wonderful.
And far as my favorite food, I'd probably go with popcorn. If popcorn is around me, chances are we're gonna have a great time. So
Mm. Yeah, when I walk into Mariano sometimes, that's our local grocery store here, one of our local grocery stores here. They're making popcorn there. Oh my gosh, it just smells so good.
right, right. It's always a good
Or
idea.
yeah, or of course the movie theater. You just want to put all that fake butter on there and
Right.
mash it in your face. Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm so glad you found us. And I'm admitting Victoria now, so I will fill her in on introductions. Oh, yay, we have another guest joining us too. So I'll introduce myself. I know most of you know me, but I don't think Justin does. So my name is Sabrina Schottenhamel. I am what some people may call me as a recovering introvert, or someone mentioned a introvert myth buster, which I kind of like. So I'm kind of working on some of the myths that I'm going to be busting in the next few months. And I'm a massage therapist, professional speaker, health and well-being expert, and I live in just outside of the Chicagoland area. I love Mexican food, as I was mentioning when Laura said she loves street tacos. I could eat Mexican food every single day of my life. So like just tacos and guacamole and salsa. We had a salad party last night and someone brought salsa that was from a local Mexican store, and I was eating it with a chip, and all of a sudden I was like, I could drink this salsa. It was so good. Oh my gosh. So of course there was a little bit of salsa left. I got to come home with it. So I'm excited about that. But welcome to Eldrima and Victoria. We are just finishing up our introduction, so I'm glad that you joined us when you did. So I want you to introduce yourself and tell us how you got to know about this group or how you met me, and then your favorite food. So there you go.
Okay. Hi,
Welcome.
everyone. Hi, my name is Eldrima Harper. You and I met, Sabrina, at one of my networking events, and I've been attempting to come for the past few months. And so today I made it.
Yay, thank you.
Intentional, about coming. So I'm in McKinney, Texas. You were talking about, your favorite food. Like, I can drink chocolate. Okay. Just stick me in the arm and that's how much I love chocolate. Okay. And I love dark chocolate. I mean, I just love chocolate. But so I am a professional organizer. So I help people in their personal lives and their professional lives get organized. And so I love organizing. And that's pretty much what I do. So I'm excited to be here. I'm thankful that I could finally make it to your event. Yay.
Yes.
And I'm excited about the topic. I think, you and I have talked about introvert, a little bit, before. I consider myself a situational introvert, meaning I can kind of rise to the occasion.
Sure.
But for the most part, I like to just kind of, fade off into the background, So, but yeah, so that's me. Thank you for the opportunity to come.
Oh, thank you so much for being here today. All right, Victoria.
Hello. Yeah, so my name is Victoria. I am a certified health coach, and I specialize in weight loss, particularly in helping people to lose weight in a sustainable way without doing Kim Kardashian's weird stuff that she's promoting with laxative teas and lollipops, and doing it the good old fashioned way that takes some time, but working in sustainable methods to help that last throughout a lifetime in different phases of life. My company is Be Victorious. I have a little bee on right now. Which I know Sabrina's akin to because of was it your grandpa or your dad? Grandpa?
My grandparents.
Yeah. So cool. Still, I wish I could be a beekeeper. That would be so cool. I don't think my apartment complex would really like that too much. But yeah, Sabrina, I think you and I met through Jennifer, through a mutual coach, maybe a few years back. And yeah, so I've known you for a good while.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
It's hard. I love so many different I have so many different favorite foods, and it can differ depending on the day. I'd say either like a really good like mango sticky rice, like the coconut sticky rice with the mango on top and the sesame seeds. Like I could probably have that for months on end and be pretty happy.
Sounds pretty good. I've had sticky rice before, and yeah, it's definitely addictive.
It's good. It's good stuff.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that you all were here for the introductions. Thank you so much for speaking up and sharing. And I will introduce, and before, because there was a few of you that jumped out a little bit late, but next month we have another guest speaker, and he's going to be speaking on brain training. So definitely mark your calendar for, hang on, the date. Let me just pull it up really quick. It is the 20th of October, 12 p.m. Central Time. So definitely mark your calendars. I'm going to put another invite on Facebook for that. So you can click attend, and then it'll hopefully go right to your calendar too. All right, so let's jump into our first guest speaker. So Sara Lewis, she is a fellow introvert, and she loves to empower introverts to use their personality to their advantage. As the founder of Introverts Emerge, she created a method backed by neuroscience that teaches introverted professionals how to show up authentically. Through coaching and training, Sara helps introverts accept their personality and leverage it so introverts can increase their visibility and make an impact without compromising who they are. She has led workshops for the federal government and written for multiple publications, including the IDEA Fitness Journal, Personal Fitness Professional, cleanplates.com, and sparkpeople.com. When she's not when she's not coaching, you can find Sara relaxing at home, walking her dog, or reading a good book. Please help me welcome Sara Lewis.
Hello, hello. It's so good to see everyone. Thank you for being here to hear my message today. So we are talking about how to show up on social media without sacrificing your time and energy. So is it safe to say that we all kind of have a love-hate relationship with social media? Would you guys say that? Yeah. Okay. Me too. On one hand, social media is great for like listening. And one of the traits that introverts have, that's one of our strengths, is listening. So it's good because you can go on and read through everything and find out what everyone is up to, but you can lurk at the same time, right? Like you don't have to engage. You can just read through and get updates and be gone, and no one knows you were even there. But on the other hand, there's times when we do need to put ourselves out there on social media, and that can drain our energy because stepping into the spotlight is not something we usually seek out to do as introverts. So we have this kind of like give and take. So how do we find that balance between enjoying social media and having it not drain our energy and time at the same time? So I feel like social media drains our energy in two different ways. One is your mindset, like how you approach social media. So we're going to be talking about that today. And the other is when you do step into the spotlight, how do you handle putting yourself out there like that? So we have our mindset to tackle, as well as, okay, I need to tell someone about my program or about my product or whatever this may be. How do we handle that without feeling completely icky about it? All right. So if you guys can, I want to just see in the chat, if I'm going to open up my chat here so I can see. But I just want to know when you guys discovered or realized you are an introvert. Was it like back in grade school? Was there a certain age? Like just throw in the chat how old you were, what grade you were in when you discovered you were an introvert. And as those are coming in, I'll just tell you my personal story. I took the Myers-Briggs personality test when I was in 7th grade. Actually, they made everyone in the school do the test. And I remember I got back the I at that point, like it was I something. I don't remember the other 3 that I got back in 7th grade. But it's kind of like, okay, I'm an introvert. Yes, I see that I don't spend a lot of time, with large groups of people. So it didn't really mean a whole lot to me until I got older, like into like my 30s or so. Then it started really being like, wow, I really, really need alone time to function in this world. If I'm going to put myself out there, then I need that recovery time back. So, this business of mine as helping introverts has something that's happened more recently than something that's been, even though I've been an introvert all my life, my business has been more of a recent evolution. Okay, so let me read here. Victoria, in your 20s, extroverted before that. Richard was 15 in high school. Sabrina, a few years ago. Awesome. And extremely shy. All right. Eldrima, last year. Laura, during high school. Angela, high school. Awesome. Yeah, and you guys were kind of touching on this as you were talking about it, that we all kind of have these different definitions of what an introvert is. And Sabrina said she was shy. Yeah, so I always thought I was shy for most of my life as well. There's a story of when I was in high school, I took French, and my mom came home from parent-teacher conferences and told me that my French teacher wanted me to raise my hand and answer questions more in class. Now, I was getting an A in the class. Like, I clearly understood the material, but the feedback was I needed to raise my hand and speak up more. And I was like, well, it's probably because I'm shy. But then on the other hand, I was the star of the musical that my high school put on my senior year, like literally the headlining character in the musical. So, over the years, I've thought, well, was I really shy? Because I got on stage and sang in front of people. And just because I didn't want to raise my hand in class, it didn't make me shy. So what I've discovered or put the pieces together was that I wasn't actually shy back then, nor am I now, but I'm introverted. I would just rather not be in the spotlight, but I can handle the spotlight when it's under my control. When I feel like being in the spotlight, I can step into it. But then there's this like private persona where I'm in my home, I'm reading, I'm walking my dog, not talking to anybody and getting my energy back, right? So it's not necessarily that all introverts are shy. And if you haven't read the book Quiet by Susan Cain, I definitely recommend reading that to kind of help differentiate and feed out what an introvert is. But yeah, I mean, I think we all define it in our own ways, like the introvert, like Mythbuster, or the extroverted introvert, or the formerly shy introvert, or maybe you still are shy or whatever. So we all have our little different definitions, but really what unites us is our energy. It's our energy. So how much time we spend in the spotlight, how much social interaction we have, all of that can be draining for us. And we all have different tolerances. Maybe like one person in this group can be out for a party like all night long, but the next day has the introvert hangover where you're just so drained and you have like brain fog and you can't think straight. I call that the introvert hangover because you did socialize. Or maybe being at a party, like you can only handle 2 hours before you're like, I'm done, I gotta go, and you're out. So we all have different levels of like socialization that we can handle. But yeah, so what unites us, even though we may have different fears or whatever it may be, what unites us is our energy, how we get our energy. All right, so let's go back to social media. Oh, Eldrima said she just got quiet last year. Oh, that's how you discovered you were an introvert. That's awesome. Awesome. I love that. So when we're talking about social media and how our energy is used up on social media, a lot of it comes down to mindset. So I wanted to talk about that first. Have you ever had the experience where you've logged on to social media and you're reading through people's, status updates on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it may be, but you feel a little bit triggered? Like you just feel like, like, and you can't place it necessarily, but you're just like, I kind of feel gross. Well, and you guys know this, but social media, everyone is posting their highlights most of the time, right? They're posting like their big moments. And we don't always have these big moments. So my daughter went to preschool with this other little girl, and they did gymnastics together. And I was really friendly with my daughter's friend's mom. Like, we got along really well. I really enjoyed her. And they bought a house on a river, and she was like, we should have a mother-daughter weekend together at my river house. And I'm like, yeah, great. Let's do it. Tell me what weekend that we're going, and we'll go. And a few months went by, and she posted a picture on Facebook of her and her daughter and some other woman and her daughter, at their river house. And for me, that was like triggering, because I was like, well, I said yes. Like, I was very open about, I want to do this with you. And I didn't get invited. I didn't even get invited. So I was just like, oh, like, I felt kind of gross after seeing that on Facebook. So if you ever have those kinds of experiences, this is what I did, and what I recommend is that you start looking into it a little bit deeper and identifying really what's going on there. And for me, the feeling was jealousy. I mean, I felt gross, but really when I thought about it more, I was jealous. I was like, why didn't she invite me? We talked about it and she didn't invite me. So when you like see people, like, maybe they're posting like that they took a vacation to a place that's on your bucket list, or maybe they got promoted and you've been looking for a promotion. We can use those kind of feelings to identify what we really want. So it can reveal something about you, but you do need to take up the pause and think about, what is this teaching me? What is it revealing about me that I want? And then take action on that. So for me, I was like, oh, I want friendship. Like, I felt really gross about that whole situation for like months before I finally figured this out. And I was like, oh, I actually want friendship. That's what I'm really deeply seeking, is friendship. Because I work from home, I don't have this large circle of friends. I've been an introvert, so I've never had like a large group of people that I've hung out with. I enjoy working from home. So I'm like, you know what? I really need friends. And so I've started taking steps to start making more friendships. And now I can go back and I can see her statuses and not like angry like them. Do you ever do that? Like, I'm going to angry like this. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. So once I've taken action on what I can control, then social media doesn't drain my energy quite as much. So that's triggers. If you just feel icky after reading someone's status, just pause and ask yourself, what is it revealing about you? The second thing is perfectionism. So when you go to post something, do you ever think like, oh, I have to have my makeup on, or I have to have my hair done, or whatever it may be. I have to have the gorgeous graphics, and I have to have everything just right before I make a post. I have to write the perfect thing. I've been thinking about what I'm going to write in my status for like the better part of the day. Perfectionism. It's so energy draining, so energy draining. So what I can say is that no one's expecting perfection from you except for you. And again, it's about taking action just to overcome that. You can skip the makeup, you can skip the hairstyling. You're still going to have people respond to your posts, that sort of thing. If you use graphics instead of your face as a usual thing, your graphics are good enough. I feel like so many people spend so much time on Canva, like getting all the graphics right. Graphics are good enough. You can use a template. If you use Canva, use a template so that you don't recreate graphics every single time you need to post something on social media. And also, there's no perfect time to post. If you think, oh, well, I need to post at 11 a.m. or whatever time you think is like you've heard is the perfect time, there's really no perfect time to post. It's whenever you can do it consistently. So again, moving past this idea of perfectionism, will help you get more done, and it will save your energy and at the same time. All right, now the third mindset thing is to post when you are inspired. I have a friend who feels like she has to post every day. Like she's told me before, like, oh, well, I haven't gotten my post out today, so I feel like I have to post, and she'll just kind of force herself to create content. And that, again, is a big energy drain. So don't force yourself to produce content. If you're inspired, then put it out there. If you're not, then it's okay. Like no one's going to come knocking on your door and asking you where your status update was for the day. All right. But if you do have ideas that kind of come to you like throughout the week, or you just get these ideas, keep a running list of them. So you can keep that in your phone. I have a black and white like printed planner that sits right on my desk, so that if I see something that triggers an idea in me, I'll just write it down. So then I have it down beside me. So if you feel like you're posting just because it like, oh, I got this idea and I'm going to post it, just save it rather than having to force it out and produce content on a timetable that doesn't feel natural. All right. And then number 4 is to not spread yourself too thin on social media. So my recommendation is to pick two platforms, your top 2. So one that you really like, and one where you're seeing like, okay, but this is driving my goals. I'm getting customers from it, that sort of thing. So you don't have to be everywhere. That is definitely draining. So again, go where you enjoy it the most. And then the flip side of that is that if you do have multiple channels, and maybe you gravitate towards one, but you do have, multiple channels or platforms you want to keep going, to use content that can be used across all the different channels. And what that is these days is short form video, like 1 minute or less, because all the channels take video now, but they don't all take pictures. So to save time and energy, short form video is a great way to do that, because YouTube has shorts now, that's 1 minute or less. Instagram has reels, Facebook has reels, there's TikTok and Pinterest. I was just on Pinterest again recently. I'd been off of it for a while. They now have these idea pins, it's called, which is a short form video. So another way to save time and energy is to take one video, one minute or less video, and to put it across at least those 5 channels if you have them, right? So you don't have to be on all the platforms. Don't put that pressure on yourself. But if you do want to put something easily across all the platforms, short form video is the way to do it, rather than to create something separate for each platform. All right, number 5 is to log out of whatever platform it is when you are done. Log out completely. Close windows. Because when we have like a little window open and we start seeing like the numbers tick up of how many notifications you have in Facebook, or if you start seeing your phone lighting up with somebody said this on Instagram, or somebody followed you on Instagram, or whatever it is, those constant notifications are distractions. And distractions are draining, very time and energy draining. So save your sanity by logging out when you're done. Like you can have the apps on your phone, but just log out of them, because it's so easy to log back in, right? All you have to do is just tap it. We no longer have to put in passwords. So just log out, minimize those distractions, save your sanity, and you'll increase your productivity. Because they say like once you have one distraction, it takes you 20 minutes to get back into the flow of what you were doing. So if your phone is constantly lighting up, or you're noticing numbers like in the windows on your screen for your social channels, you'll be more distracted and get less done. So stay focused by logging out. I'm just going to take a quick drink here. All right, the next thing is to develop your, Sabrina, do not disturb. Yeah, that's a great idea. The next thing is to develop your skill set. your skill set for how you're using social media. So that could be that you need to start doing video. I know I suggested short form video, and that can be really scary to talk on video. It is a skill you can develop though. Talking on video, writing better captions, whatever it may be, taking better selfies, taking better photos, whatever it may be. Once you start developing those skills and taking action on them, that builds your confidence. And when you know you can confidently go on social media, then it's less energy draining. So, but I know that it can be super scary to do video or step outside your comfort zone in other ways. And I feel like this is what we do. we compensate too much. So we go from 0 to 60. So let's say you're like, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and you're building up to it. You're psyching yourself up to do a Facebook Live, and then you do it, and you're like sweaty, and you feel gross afterwards, and you're so drained, and all you want to do is take a nap. Like, we've just gone from 0 to 60 to like too fast. And there's a model of stepping outside your comfort zone. So if you think of your comfort zone as this little like nucleus ball, then around it is your learning zone. And then outside the learning zone is the panic zone. And when you do a live, if your comfort zone is to not do video, and you push yourself all the way out to the panic zone and do a Facebook Live and cause yourself all that anxiety and energy drain, then you've pushed too far outside your comfort zone. So there is this science-backed idea of stepping too far outside of your comfort zone, and that will drain your energy. So instead, you want to step small steps into the learning zone, and you'll know you're in the learning zone versus the panic zone, because the learning zone, you feel the challenge, but you're a little bit excited to do it. Like, you're eager to do whatever this activity is. Maybe it's applying to speak on a podcast, or maybe it's submitting a guest post somewhere, whatever it may be, speaking up in a meeting. When you can do those in little increments and stay inside that learning zone area, then we don't lose so much energy around it. All right. So think about these things when you're when you're stepping outside your comfort zone, that you're not stepping so far out of your comfort zone that it will drain you, but you should feel a little bit excited and eager about the challenge when you're just outside your comfort zone. So there's a difference in feeling there. All right, so I do have a 3-step process for stepping outside your comfort zone. So the idea is that you're stepping into your learning zone and not the panic zone. But even then, what you want to do is to start generating positivity first. Now, this doesn't mean that you spend hours before your scary thing, like planning it. Because the longer you spend like dwelling on something, the more your energy gets drained, right? And then you show up like as tired for this big energetic event. So generate positivity, and you can do that by watching something funny. You can do that by listening to music, meditating. Not like only if you're well practiced at meditating, if that's a positive thing for you, or you could even do something nice for someone. So maybe you, my fellow like sweet lovers, can make a cake for someone beforehand and give it to someone, or just send a nice text to a friend saying, "Hey, I was thinking about you." Because the idea is behind generating positivity is that you're getting the good hormones flowing. You're getting serotonin going, dopamine. And those, when they're in your system right before a scary event, helps bring down those nerves, helps keep you a little bit calmer. Okay, so if I'm into like these like funny dog videos on Facebook, so if you like, the Dodo is one of those channels that always is posting funny animals. So if you start saving those kinds of things, like you can use social media to help you with this. So if you see something in your feed that's funny, save it, because you can do that on all the channels, I believe. So you have this folder of funny things to look back on. So when you're about to do something that's in your learning zone, you can generate those positive feelings right beforehand. So we're talking like 10 or so minutes beforehand. Okay, so you don't spend all morning worrying and prepping about whatever it is that you're going to do. Okay, so that's step 1, is to generate the positivity. Step 2 is to just execute. It's time to take the action to do the scary thing. So maybe that is doing a 1-minute video, talking on video. Maybe that is like emailing your boss and saying, I want to have a meeting to discuss XYZ. Like whatever the scary thing is, maybe you're asking for a testimonial, something like that. Just take the action then, right? Because you're feeling good, take the action, get it over with. Then the third thing is to recover. This is where we start processing our emotions. So recovery, I feel like, is that step that we're all missing. We kind of all prepare in our different ways to do something scary, but then it's like right back to work. I think most people would be like, oh, I'm going to check my email now, or I have a phone call, or I got to do this or that, run the kids wherever. So we miss this recovery step, which is truly where you get your energy back. So after you've done something outside of your comfort zone, you have to take some time to recover. My favorite go-to is to go for a walk. I'll just head out the door. Like after events like this where I'm speaking, I usually need to go for a walk because it's outside of my comfort zone, but it's not in my panic zone. So I still need to walk it off. And when I get back from my walk, I'm usually like calm and I'm ready to do whatever the next thing that the day brings. So you can go for a walk to process emotions. You can journal. Journaling is a great way. Just, write down, like, I did this. I was feeling scared, but I did it. Write out all of your feelings. Because again, the recovery process is about processing your feelings. You can give yourself a massage, like you can use a tennis ball and roll it up around your neck and shoulders, get the tension out of your shoulders. You could take a bath. You could play with your pets. Whatever it may be that helps you recover. And this may take some time for you to figure out what works for you. The walk is what works for me, but maybe something different works better for you. But again, those 3 steps to step outside your comfort zone are to generate the positivity, watching something, listening to music, whatever it may be, to doing the darn thing. And step 3 is to do the recovery process. All right, so that formula, anytime you're stepping outside your comfort zone, will work for you. No matter what you're doing that steps outside your comfort zone, that formula is something I've learned reading through like psychology and neuroscience books. So it's proven and backed by science. You guys heard in my bio that I love to read, and what I read is neuroscience. So I nerd out that way. All right. So are there any thoughts, comments, questions about what I covered? I kind of threw a lot of ideas at you, but we have our mindset that we need to tackle. And then we have our skill set that we need to develop as well. Any thoughts?
I really love the concept of the uncomfy. I like using that word instead of uncomfortable, like uncomfy, because it sounds fuzzier. I don't know why. The uncomfy zone and then like pushing to the panic zone. I think that's really great because sometimes I can get into the mindset of just like, nope, you need to go gung ho. You need to make yourself like uncomfortable. And then it's just like my nervous system is just all hijacked for a good while. And I think that gets perpetuated a lot in hustle culture and that kind of stuff, like go big or go home, 10x everything. And it's like, yeah, my body can't handle that. But I find it interesting. I'm like thinking about some things that I think sometimes I struggle with finding the steps. Like I can get to a certain level of uncomfy, but then at some point, like there's like almost a gap, I feel like in some areas from uncomfy to panic, where I can't find the next like step, or I feel like I might need like 2 more steps to get to that next thing to make me uncomfortable. But like anytime I plunge forward, I'm still in panic. And I'm like, like, for example, I really want to go on like a live news segment. But even the thought of that, like my palms start sweating. So I'm like, yep, I know I'm going to like melt if I do that. So I'm like, okay, I can do more live speaking engagements. I could do more things like that. But that never seems to quite get me like mentally prepared to feel like out of panic at that next step. So I'm just, it's like having me think about, okay, what are some other ways I can build a bridge there without full on sending me into like panic mode of doing that thing that's like way too out of my comfort zone. At least right now. So I really like that concept because it's having me think about this as in like a gradient instead of like an all or nothing kind of facet of like managing our nervous systems in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. In live news segments, we'll have cameras. So do you already talk in front of a camera?
I do. I do that fairly regularly on a YouTube channel, but it's just me and my husband and the camera looking at me. So the camera part doesn't get me. I think it's the lights. Like anytime there's extra lights on me, my husband set up a bunch of extra lights to test that theory. And immediately, they weren't hot lights either. They were LEDs, so they didn't generate heat. And immediately, as soon as I saw like the lights around me, I was like melting into a puddle. Like, that's it. It's the light. So I think I need more like of that exposure to things with like spotlights, kind of like probably similar to like how it feels when you're on stage in theater and you have all these lights on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's really good information that you were able to like dial that down into, because now it's just a matter of practicing at home with a camera, with your husband, with the lights on.
Yeah.
That's like going to be like, that's like your learning zone. Like, it's pushing it, but it does sound like it does fit within your learning zone, so that, you can get really good at it at home, get desensitized to it, so that when you do it live and like for channel 4 or whatever it may be, that it's still in your learning zone.
Yeah.
It doesn't push you out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just those little things that we have to figure out, and those things can take time. Like I was saying, like with my friend and my jealousy trigger, like it took me months to figure out, why am I angry at her for posting about her daughter? It took me months to figure that out. So that's so good that you were able to figure that out.
One of the things that I really took to was that having that being aware that you need to like get those endorphins going again, and that's a big deal. And I realized that some of the ways that I try to regulate myself again are not necessarily super positive. Like, I will take a walk, but I'll like talk to a friend that I know is going through something or whatever. So I'm like kind of still on, when really what I need to do is just not listen to the news while I'm walking, like not even necessarily listen to something that I'm trying to learn so that I can put it in something, or, that it's literally just calm, my time, nothing else. I thought that was just so good. I realized how much I was like trying to plant those seeds and then like literally ripping them back up at the same time.
Good. I'm glad you had that aha. Yeah. And once you start like noticing it, now that you're aware of it, you'll start noticing it. Like, okay, like, talking to my friend, I'm supporting her, but it does drain my energy because I have to be, empathic. Is that the word? Like, I have to show empathy, whatever it may be. And that can be draining, especially if you're like a highly sensitive or an empath. Yeah. So doing something just for you.
So good.
Good. Well, anyone else is welcome to share, but in the meantime, while you're thinking of ideas, I did want to share that I do have a video challenge coming up. It's free. It's 5 days, and it starts on Monday, the 19th. So this coming Monday. I'll throw the link in the chat, but the idea is to do 3 1-minute or less videos throughout the 5 days, and we'll cover these steps to make it not anxiety producing, but I want you to kind of figure out what is the resistance to video. Like why are you hesitating to push record? So this is again for people who are not comfortable on video yet. Like if video still feels like it's a panic zone thing for you, then this challenge is for you. But if you're cool with like picking up your phone and talking, then this challenge is not for you. So I'll throw that link in the chat, but we do have a live training this coming Monday. Again, it's free. It's only 5 days. And it will help you get more comfortable on video, and you'll walk away with 3 1-minute videos that you can use on your channels. So Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, whatever it may be. So I'll throw the link in the chat. And if anyone wants to share anything else,
and is that through Facebook, Sara, or do you have a separate platform for your challenge?
So the registration will be through my website, which I'm throwing in the channel here or in the chat here.
Okay.
And the live training that we're going to do on Monday is through Zoom.
Okay.
So once you register, I send out the link, and we'll meet like this on Monday, and we'll do the training, and then how to do the videos and what types of videos, and I help you get content ideas. and all that, so that you produce 3 videos next week, 3 1-minute or less videos.
That's super awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for all your insights. I would like to go around the room really briefly, and just say something that you took away from today. So Richard, you're first up on my screen. Once you figure out the mute button.
Yeah. What I learned was, like for going into like a interview, or if I'm going on to make a video, just have positive endorphins. Because one of the things I like to do is, like, if I'm going to go into a nervous situation, just think of something that's funny, like something that make me laugh, or like a prank on somebody. Or yeah.
Yeah,
I
love that. Mm-hmm. So good. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Laura, would you like to share?
I like the idea of learning zone versus panic zone, and keeping myself, don't get so overwhelmed by, oh my gosh, it has to be X, Y, and Z, and I haven't even gotten A, B, and C. That makes any sense? I can break it. I need to break it and chunk it down into smaller, manageable things, so I don't feel like I'm not giving the right message. I'm not doing the right levels of I'm not saying the right message. My message is still pretty simple, and I don't know. It was just, finding the funny. I don't know. I don't make videos at all because I'm not confident. It's like, no, who wants to do this? Anyway, so yeah, lots of little tidbits. So this has really been good. So anyway,
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Angela.
Yeah, well, I kind of shared mine, but also I did really like the panic zone, because I've heard like the way you move forward and you grow is you encounter little bits of your fear. And I feel like that actually, the way that you put it, Sarah, actually like encapsulates that even better, so that there's edges that you can go to. Like, you don't want to throw yourself at something, but you do want to like experience little bits of it, and that there is a way to do it without like full out panic mode. I loved that. So, because I've taken that one like nugget from, I don't even remember where I heard it, like a book or something, but I feel like combined with your nugget that you just shared, I'm like, that's what they're talking about. So I appreciate that so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Justin, are you able to share with us something that you learned?
Sure. And I do apologize. My my baby is teething, so if you hear screaming in the background, it's her. It's not me. But I think one of the takeaways was after, and I think I've done this before, but after posting something or sharing a video, closing every browser and closing all the apps, and just kind of taking a moment to get away from it, and not checking to see what replies you're getting or what comments or how many likes. That really stood out to me, and that's something that I do like to do whenever I do post, just to kind of lessen the expectation or of seeing what other people think about what it is I've posted. I think the victory is just in posting, period, and being able to share what you took time to create. And if other people like it, or if they choose to interact with it, that's great. But I think for me, the victory is just being able to go through with the action, and walking away from it after posting I think is a really helpful thing.
Yeah, because a lot of times people are not clicking like or commenting. They're watching it, because especially if you do a video, especially I think it's a live video where you can see, or even a reel, you can see how many views you have. But that doesn't mean that everyone's clicking like or commenting. But yeah, just showing up when prompted or when inspired, that's the real thing of getting over your fears, is just showing up when you are inspired or prompted to share. So thank you for bringing that up, Justin. Eldrima.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I had to get off. I had a phone call, but just actually being in the midst of folks that I can identify with being an introvert and the challenges, that we have, is really a win for me, honestly. Like I said in the chat, that I actually just discovered. I didn't know. I thought it might have been just me being shy or what have you, but I didn't realize that the things that I was struggling with was because I was an introvert. Somebody actually told me, and then I saw a post on LinkedIn where someone had posted something like when you're called on and then you have these tumbleweeds, and I was like, that's me. Because when someone does that, and I used to do that in school. So, and I would never raise my hand, just like you were just saying, about raising your hand. I mean, that was like, really, you know, something that I just never thought that was related to me being an introvert. And so it was that, what you had said about, raising your hand and being in the midst of, others that can relate to being an introvert. I do videos occasionally, and I do them when I do get inspired. I don't like doing live videos though. But I have done them, but I just stopped. I was like, I'm just talking to myself, it just felt weird, so, but I love doing audios. I love doing, like LinkedIn has that live audio feature. I love doing, live audios, and I love doing podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so, those things, I mean, I really did love, what I was hearing about that. I can identify with so many things. So, yeah.
That's so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Victoria, what would you like to share?
Yeah, aside from the uncomfy zone to like just totally stressed out zone, I think just focusing on 2 platforms too is really helpful, because there's just so many different ways you can go, and cross posting and utilizing that. I just realized the value in that, and it's made such a big difference, like huge difference, to not have to recreate content. And I've been able to take off watermarks off of certain videos and make them kind of like compliant to all platforms, which has been really, really helpful. So that was something that just like isolating down to just 2 platforms and cross posting is like so awesome. Just re-solidifies that's a good strategy to use.
Yeah, we need to simplify our lives, just like Eldrima says in her in your background, simplify your life. One decision at a time. Yep. We can save our energy and put it to where we really are strong, then yes, we will thrive in our lives. And Sharon, you joined us a little bit late. You must have gotten the time thing wrong, maybe because we changed it. But
Well,
welcome. I'm glad that you did join us.
I did get caught up in something else I was doing. I had the time right, but then I said, "Oh my God, if it's even 10 minutes, let me try and get on still."
Oh yeah, and we're recording, so I will send you or share the recording with everybody, so you'll be able to get caught up on what we were talking about.
Okay,
But
great.
thanks for trying to come in. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, and so some of the things that I took away from it, the execute part. We have 2 minutes left, but the execute part. So when I'm trying to create videos, and I've in August, I went live every single day on Facebook, except for 2 days I missed. And sometimes I would just be like, oh, shoot, I don't even know what I'm going to say. But I would hit the live button and it counts down 3, 2, 1. And then you're like, okay, there I go. So sometimes it's just better to just hit the button, execute, and the thoughts will usually come. I mean, sometimes I jot some notes down, but sometimes it's just like, okay, you have to go live, or you're like, I do a video a week for my newsletter. And sometimes I sit down, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And so I just do like I'll start talking, and sometimes it'll just go into 3 different points on blah, blah, blah. And then other times I have to completely discard the whole video and start over. So, but I can definitely relate to both you, Sara, and Eldrima about not raising my hand in class because I did not want to speak up. But for me, I danced my heart out. I was a ballerina since 2.5. So I couldn't speak up or ask questions in class, but I could dance in front of hundreds of people. And that was the way I expressed myself. So I knew that, not only was I shy, but I was introverted because, I couldn't speak, but I could perform. So just really interesting. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off, Sara?
I put 2 book recommendations, just listening to everyone talk into the chat.
Awesome.
I read them both. Personality Isn't Permanent is amazing. And Captivate, I saw Justin's comment about socializing. So Captivate, I recently just read, and it's all about how you act in social situations, like what you can do to make yourself more captivating. I was going to say more attractive, but it's not like how you look. It's more about how you attract people to you in social situations. So getting conversations started and reading people. I really enjoyed it. And she dedicates the book, Vanessa Van Edwards, the author, dedicates the book to awkward people. And I definitely consider myself socially awkward. I'm not shy, but I'm still, have some social awkward tendencies. So I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, very good. Thank you. And I will make sure that the links go into the YouTube video as well. So thank you all again for joining us, and definitely mark your calendar for next month so that we have another speaker. John Kennedy is his name, and he'll be speaking on the brain. So if you think of anyone else that you'd like to invite to the group, please, I will be putting it on the event page back on Facebook. So invite your friends, even if they're not introverted. I think that would be great for anyone to learn more about how we can strengthen our brain. All right, well, have a great day. Thank you again. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.